Nice to meet you.
Is Mita? Mita? No.
Rabs.
Rabs. I don't see. I am going to put here. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Now I understand. Yes.
Okay, good.
Hello.
Thank you so much for the film and for being here with us today. So I'll start with a simple question, which is just, I know that this is a ongoing series for you, Paula, but how you kind of came to do this together, to do this project together.
Well, I work with some musicians. I do a few films about sound. It's not only a story about the musician, it's not it's a relationship with sound and camera. And in this case with Leo, with Leonardo, is the words that he say like melody. So the language is right.
Yes.
My English is so bad.
It's not that bad, don't worry.
As I try to speak a little. So the language, like melody, is like what he says, está correcto? What he says in the film, the enunciation of her language, what he says is like in the rhythm, like a melody too, is music too. So it was a very important experience because my is not a portrait like a conventional portrait of a musician, but is always the relationship with the camera, the image, and the sound, and is always this fight between images and sounds. In this case of the film of Leo, is a very particular way that I work many times with the camera in the hand, I don't know what saying.
Yeah.
But here are always the very static and little movements of the camera. Both. So I know Leo 10 years ago because we speak normally all the days because he is married with my daughter.
Okay.
Both are musicians. He is the father of my, como se diz, minha neta, my
grandchildren.
Granddaughter.
Exactly. Granddaughter. So I meet Leo with Ava, that is my daughter, but he is very important here in Brazil. He is a very important musician and sociologist.
Yeah, sociologist, yes.
So the film is also between a familiarity, a relation. Familiar is like a home film that I do in her house, and the house. So it's very interesting because this film is intimate is the word. Intimo.
Yes, right.
Intimo, yes, intimate, because we speak many about politics, and this moment when we shoot the film 1 year ago, 1 year and a half, was a very difficult moment, more political moment here in Brazil, and now is very, 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 very rude. The moment, very difficult. This moment is terrible, no? So in this moment, he speak about many contradiction of political religion. So, but Leo is here. He can speak. He can speak clearly about that, because I do nothing. I do a little things, little movements in the camera, very subtle movements. And I think that is for me important is the way he think about the time of the thinking. I try not to cut the shoots, os planos, not to cut the shoots, synthesize, como se diz, sintetizar, sim.
Tá certo.
Not to do synthetic way to speak like normally the documentary do for the television. Very little moments but I do the contrary, to do very long, because what is interesting is what the way he construct the thinking, like a philosophy, you know, that I think is very important, the way he construct her thought and how he thinking, he speak, and he is also thinking about. He is very interesting because it's like a very new way to film the thinking. Is that is what I can explain like that, né? Léo. So
go ahead. I mean, I think a lot of the things you said about the intimacy, it really came through, not knowing that you are in the family, but it makes a lot of sense that you have this intimacy, that it felt like that. It felt like you were in the space, you were at home, and also what you said about letting it, not cutting too much as well. It really comes through there, letting it happen. Léo, do you want to respond as well?
Yeah. When Paula came to shoot the film, I was feeling very comfortable because she's my mother-in-law. So this made things easier, no? When you have to talk. And I think that the great achievement of the film and is the way Paula shoot. You know, she didn't cut the thinking. You know, the hesitations of the thinking, and she did like, let this guy speak for like 2 hours, and let's see what happens. You know. And I didn't plan to talk about what I talk in the movie, you know. I was just like free speech, you know. I was like just talking about things that was going through my mind at that moment. So that's why I talk about so different aspects, you know, from China to I was about to go to China at the moment, from China to Facebook Building Aid project. So that's
I was going to say that also the length and the way that you let it just breathe and not cut too much. It feels powerful to have a Black man, Afro-Brazilian, able to have this much time and to test the audience to say, you know, listen and hear what he has to say. And that for me, when I watched the film, I felt that was really powerful and wonderful.
Yes. Because that is very important. The time of the film is very important, 2 hours and a half, because he speak with the public like that, no frontal, is that and that and that. Is like a manifesto. And I think he is a very important film for me. I think because what Léo says is very is like go right to the epicenter of the more important moment of Brazil, and I think is a manifest, né? and is a melody too. And so is radical in this sense, né? In the time of the time of the thinking, and to explain many aberrations that existen here in Brazil, no? That we are in a very complicated moment, political moment, yeah, with many contradictions and all the things, yes, of religion, philosophic, racism, all the things. No?
I felt like you mentioned you said melodic, and I when at the end when there's the performance, it really highlighted the way that the film itself feels like an improvisation, similar to the improvisation that is in the performance. And so I wondered if you could talk a bit, maybe Leo, you could talk a little bit about the film in relation to your music, because it's not about your music, but there's a real sense of that throughout.
Yeah. I think Paula was very smart, making this blend of music, improvisational music, impromptu, and the way I speak in the movie, because I am this way, because if it's uncut, if it's real, that's what this film is about, because it's like 2 hours talking and talking and talking and talking the way I am. When I speak in Portuguese, of course. and I think in life, things comes this way, You are talking about something and other things come to your mind and you're like mixing everything. And this everything to me has something to do with politics, And that's why all the things in all my thoughts in the movies are related to politics, even if I am talking about, in the film, I talk about so many different things, ordinary stuff, about whatever, but it's related to politics. And I don't know, it's just a way, it is,
Go ahead, Paula.
No, the montage, le montage is chronological. I shoot one afternoon, and is in the montage is like that. Écriture zéro, my writing is zero. What they say is écriture zéro. So is a conceptual film. Why the way I do the montage, I do the montage of the film. You explain that idea, Leo. You speak very well English. My English is so bad.
No.
God. I speak French, Spanish, Portuguese. My English is terrible.
It's okay. I only speak English, so you're doing better than I am. Don't worry about it.
You understand, and the way the montage is like chronological.
The addition. The addition is chronological. No?
The way I shoot.
One afternoon and then shooting until the concert that is in the end of the film.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was also shot all in the same day, as well.
Same day.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yes, that makes sense.
It was proposital because I shoot many times the performance of Leo. So I had many different performance. In New York, I filmed Leo in New York when he was in the Lincoln Center. So it was very conceptual to do like that, no? In this way, very simple, but very minimalist. But it was a decision about the time of the film, the very economic in the how I use, and in this chronologic form. So is what I do, only that. He is the film. He is 100% is Leo.
Amazing. So I'll ask you one final question before we have to wrap up. But I wondered, the film you shot a year and a half ago, and so I wondered about, you know, obviously that is you're responding to that time, and the film is coming out now, and there's so many of the issues that come up are still exactly the same issues, just amplified and made even worse or even more amplified. So I wondered if you had any thoughts about, you know, things that you might have said or things that you, watching back on the film, have thought specifically about that relates to time after the film was shot.
Specifically about what I'm saying, you know, about the content of the film. I think that now in Brazil we have two problems. No, we have the problem that, you know, Europe is always demanding food. From where? From Brazil. It is the it corresponds to like the Europe and US and you understand, are demanding food from Brazil, and Brazil needs to increase like 20% of its plantation, if it, and so, and they are complaining about about the problems in forests, you know, like the burning forests, all this stuff, and then, but they need us to increase, you know, the production, and that's a very strange paradox. So, to me, this is one thing that is being amplified, as you said, you know, now, you know, right now, and you have to just to take a look at this. As well as you have to take a look at what is going on in Brazil since the Cup of State. Because when we had the Cup of State, and now because we had a government of left center, you know, the Partido dos Trabalhadores, né, the Labor Party in Brazil, and it was shut down because of a lot of different agenda, you know, ecological agenda, people from left ecological people, and all this stuff, you know. And this was a very strange moment for us in Brazil from 2016 to 2018, when the Bolsonaro is elected. When Bolsonaro is elected, we have a shift, a complete shift in Brazil politicians. You know, like a lot of rights that had been conquered years ago, like a decade ago, didn't exist anymore, you know, at this moment. And it's in the public health, in the public education, you know, because in Brazil we have something that you have in Europe, that is like a state that, you know, tries to make an equilibrium, you know? But we have like a very high income concentration here in Brazil. So so this guy was cutting what is very essential for the survival for the survival of the poor people in Brazil. So, and then this is escalating. You know, now it's like we are in the very, we are about to have like an auto cup, like a military cup, something mixed. It's very strange. I can say really exactly what's going on now here. Paula knows we are just seeing what is going on in the military, you know, like the rupture of the hierarchy, and this kind of stuff, and you have, you know, it's, we don't know what will happen from now on. It's very strange, but people, nevertheless, the pandemic is going to the streets to protest, to struggle against this government, and I don't know if it's gonna be efficient, actually, but you have to do something, and you have to organize the masses here in Brazil. But we don't know how, because I talk in the movies about religion, about the Protestants here in Brazil, and how we need to and how God is alive. You know, God is not dead. Maybe in Europe, but I'm not sure. You know, God is not dead, and we have to do something with it, with this. You know, because the you know, it's quite a long time ago, like 6,000 years. You know, like the Christianism, the Jewish, the Islamism, whatever, these religions that are monotheist religions, and so, and it's so hard to have a word like as we have, you know, the word of the social media. When you think about social media right now, social media is like, when you think about, when you think that the media is the message, in a way that the media rebuilt the relations, the social relationship that people will have, you know, the total environment of relation that people will have. And when you say this, when you talk about social media, it's like the life of the person is the drama of the whole life of this person. It's like the world is this person. You know, it's like social media is all about this. Even if you're guided or lined by anyone else, you know, any agenda, you know, but you are living the drama, your own drama, your own theater in that shit. And that's something that we have really to be aware, and when we talk about politics, you know, social media and politics, I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
That is related to politics, and then we have to be really aware of this, how to make because of social media, because people were lying to do that criticism to government, that we are where we are, you know. That's important to take a look. It was like an experiment that has to be with our Arabian Spring. Here in Brazil, you have cups all around the places, a lot of countries at that moment, from 2010 and 2013, 14, 15. This very moment is very interesting for me.
Yeah, I think it's really important, and an important film for you to be bringing these conversations to the world. And I hope that, you know, people here in the UK see the film and maybe pay a bit more attention to what's happening in Brazil. And so I'm really grateful for both of you for your work on the film. Thank you so much for that. It's been wonderful to talk to you. And all the best. Take care.
All the best to you too.
Take care.